Hey everybody, my name is Natalie Duncan-Emmons. I wanted to thank you for listening to this episode of The Morning Show. I'm the creator, the producer, and the host of the show. We want you to check out our website. It's themorningshowwithnatalie.com. You can go to that website. You can see all about our sponsors, all about the show. You can even listen to live episodes while they're going on right there from the website. Another way to listen to the show live is go to Live 365. You can download that app and just search for The Morning Show. It's right there. Super easy. We want you to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel if you will. That way you can keep up with what's going on The Morning Show. Thank you. I hope you enjoy it.
Hey friend, it's great to have you tuned into The Morning Show today. Here on The Morning Show, you'll hear your favorite Southern gospel music and some of the classics you'll never forget. And now, the hostess of The Morning Show, Natalie Duncan-Emmons.
When you wake up to the storm and all you feel are the waves crashing against your boat, you wonder if anybody remembers you or the journey that you're on. When you feel discouraged from what you see on the news or the events going on around you, well, friend, cut it off. Don't look to the left or to the right, look up. And when everything inside of you is screaming to be afraid, to accept defeat, or to hand our enemy a victory, well, you need to sing. And then keep singing. Sing it some more. For we are God's people. And that's just what God's people do. Well, we sing.
He said sing, from a laughing heart, just sing. When the night is darkest, sing. Let your joy explode and let music fill the air. And sing, when there's nothing else to do, sing. When something deep inside of you tells you that life is still a wonder, just throw back your head and sing. He said sing, from a laughing heart, just sing. When the night is darkest, sing. Let your joy explode and let music fill the air. And sing, when there's nothing else to do, sing. When something deep inside of you tells you that life is still a wonder, just throw back your head and sing. When God created living things, He knew we'd need a way to share our fears, our questions, and our dreams. Oh, there were words, but words won't do when joy swells up inside. There simply had to be a better way. And He said sing, from a laughing heart, just sing. When the night is darkest, sing. Let your joy explode and let music fill the air. And sing, when there's nothing else to do, sing. When something deep inside of you tells you that life is still a wonder, just throw back your head and sing. The birds God sent on flashing wings to fill the sky with song. Put music in the brook and crashing sea.
The wind blew through the threads of grass like fingers through the strings of golden harps that made the meadow sing.
Then He said sing, from a laughing heart, just sing. When the night is darkest, sing. Let your joy explode and let music fill the air. You can sing, when there's nothing else to do, sing. When something deep inside of you tells you that life is still a wonder, just throw back your head and sing.
The psalmist said, "Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before His presence with singing. Know ye that the Lord, He is God. It is He that hath made us, and not we ourselves. We are His people and the sheep of His pasture. Enter into His gates with thanksgiving, and into His courts with praise. Be thankful unto Him, and bless His name. For the Lord is good. His mercy is everlasting, and His truth endureth to all generations."
Then He said sing, from a laughing heart, just sing. When the night is darkest, sing. Let your joy explode and let music fill the air.
You can sing,
When there's nothing else to do, sing. When something deep inside of you tells you that life is still a wonder, just throw back your head and sing.
then He said sing,
From a laughing heart, just sing.
descended. An angel of the Lord declared that it would be. He said, don't stand here grieving for the one that you see leaving. In like manner he's coming back for you and me. I believe he's coming back like he said. I believe that a trumpet's gonna sound so loud, one day it'll wake the dead. In the twinkling of an eye, he'll split the eastern sky, and I believe he's coming back like he said. I believe the time is nearing. We'll soon see his appearing. Well, this could be the hour, and this could be the day when the saints from every nation gonna lose gravitation in the middle of the air, be caught away. And I believe he's coming back like he said. I believe that a trumpet's gonna sound so loud, one day it'll wake up the dead. In the twinkling of an eye, he's gonna split the eastern sky, and I believe he's coming back like he said. Oh, and I believe he's coming back like he Thank you.
Well, it's Throwback Thursday, and I'm just feeling it. So we reached back pretty far to get that one from the Happy Goodman family. And I'm thinking we should lay heavy on the throwbacks today. It's just how it feels. My name's Natalie Duncan-Emmons, and you are listening to The Morning Show. Our friend Jay Parrack from the Lefebvre Quartet, he will be here today for Throwback Thursday. Going to be reminiscing about his days with the Gold City Quartet. Jay played a crucial role in the journey of Gold City. We're going to be talking about that second hour. You're going to enjoy it. I guarantee you will. So while we're in the frame of mind of throwing it back, let's do it again. Here's the Bishops going back to somewhere around 1991 for this one. Here they are, the Bishops. Glad you're listening to The Morning Show.
Well, you don't believe there's a God in heaven with the good news to impart. You've already decided, so you never invited Jesus into your heart. Or would you change your story if you knew the glory was waiting on the other side? Will you make it into heaven, or will you get left behind? Well, I guess it all depends on when you change your mind. When you change your mind, you're gonna find the love of God and sing about amazing grace. Or you can wait a little while and become a believer when you meet him face to face. Will you make it into heaven, or will you get left behind? Well, I guess it all depends on when you change your mind. The world believes it's a fairy tale they heard about in Sunday school. And they think that maybe we're a little crazy living by the golden rule. Or when they hear the trumpet on the day of judgment, they'll see it in a different light. they make it into heaven or will they get left behind? Oh, well, I guess it all depends on when they change their minds. When you change your mind, you're gonna find the love of God and sing about amazing grace. Or you can wait a little while and become a believer when you meet Him face to face. Will you make it into heaven or will you get left behind? Well, I guess it all depends on when you change your mind. Will they make it into heaven or will they get left behind? Well, I guess it all depends on when you change your mind.
The sun comes up, the sun goes down. This crazy world just spins around. And we all woke up this morning on the ride of our lives. Through the sunshine, through the rain, a whole lot of joy and a little bit of pain. Oh, what a beautiful day is waiting right in front of our eyes. Here we are, children of grace. We have made it this far by faith. Nothing can take the place of the hope in our hearts. Here we are, happy and free. This is the way the Father meant it to be. God is love and He is good, so here we are. We are here a little while. Let's make the most of every mile. 'Cause this world is full of trouble, but it's only for now. Some days crawl and others fly. Some days leave us wondering why. Isn't it so good to know His faithfulness is never in doubt? Here we are, children of grace. We have made it this far by faith. Nothing can take the place of the hope in our hearts. Here we are, happy and free. This is the way the Father meant it to be. God is love and He is good, so here we are. Someday when forever comes and we step into that place, standing there on heaven's shore, we'll say, here we are, children of grace. We have made it this far by faith. Nothing can take the place of the hope in our hearts. Here we are, happy and free. This is the way the Father meant it to be. God is love and He is good, so here we are. Here we are, happy and free. This is the way the Father meant it to be. God is love and He is good, so here we are.
That's Avenue, their latest Here We Are. They've been on the show before. You know, I saw on the fake book that Avenue sang at the Ark this past weekend. They've got a big week of gospel music coming up at the Ark the first week or two in August. We'll get some details about that for you. That would be a fun trip. Go see the Ark and hear some really great music. So we'll let you know about that really soon. Well, I've told you about Shane Roark, R-O-A-R-K. Shane Roark. You need to follow Shane on the fake book. He says some really incredible things. Here's something that caught my eye recently. He says, striving for excellence is not demanding something of others. Striving for excellence is demanding something of yourself. It's always right to strive for the best. It is not arrogant. It is not prideful. It is not wrong. It is right to be the best that we can be. If it's worth doing at all, it's worth doing well. So today we're striving for excellence. Here's a group of guys that hit excellence on every level, every time they take the stage. Here's the Triumphant Quartet.
I was lost, but now I'm found. Jesus turned my life around. I'm so thankful and I'm so blessed. 'Cause when I ran to him, he said yes. Yes, my Jesus, he said yes. Yes, on my knees to him I confessed. When I ran to him, he said yes. I was afraid of where I'd been. I was ashamed of all my sin. He threw it all far as east to west. 'Cause when I ran to him, he said yes. Yes, my Jesus, he said yes. Yes, on my knees to him I confessed. When I ran to him, he said yes. Oh, glorious day, when he turned this sinner into a saint. Yes, my Jesus, he said yes. Yes, on my knees to him I confessed. When I ran to him, he said yes. My Jesus, he said yes. Yes, on my knees to him I confessed. I'm so thankful and I'm so blessed. He threw it all far as east to west. 'Cause when I ran to him, he said yes. Never thought the freedom would have left them wandering in a desert barren and dry. Even though God gave them quail and bread from heaven, with a cloud by day and fire by night, God said, I've heard your cries, remember who I am. Trust in my provision till you reach the promised land. You might have to wait, you might have to pray more than you usually do. You may be afraid, you may have lost your faith in all you ever knew. But God won't lead you where he won't keep you, and he'll be with you in the wilderness. You feel alone and distant. God, are you listening? As far as you can see, there is no end. What could be the reason? How long is the season? When will you hear his voice again? God said, I've heard your cries, remember who I am. Trust in my provision till you reach the promised land. You might have to wait, you might have to pray more You may be afraid, you may have lost your faith in all you ever knew, but God won't lead you where He won't keep you, and He'll be with you in the wilderness. In the wilderness. I know it feels all wrong, but the wilderness ain't home. You won't have to be there long, so keep moving on. You might have to wait, and you might have to pray more than you usually do. You may be afraid, you may have lost your faith in all you ever knew, but God won't lead you where He won't keep you, and He'll be with you in the wilderness. In the wilderness.
Well, I want to talk to you about the good folks over at Hometown Roots in Sebastopol, Mississippi. Let's talk about Rainy and Me Children's Wear. Lots of new things coming from Rainy and Me. I want you to go to their Facebook page, Rainy and Me, Rainey. You can see so many new fashions arriving now and soon. Hey, if your child is a football fan, they have the perfect t-shirt that they're going to love, and little homegrown t-shirts that are just too cute. New outfits, new pants, new tops coming for the little girls as well. They're going to be perfect for going back to school. So be watching the Facebook, and if you're in the area, you can go by and check out Rainy and Me Children's Wear clothing over at Hometown Roots. It's original, it's quality, and it's convenient because it's right here at home. Hometown Roots, that's just the place to be. Check it out, Rainy and Me.
If you measure the game, better count the cost, 'cause the ground is level at the foot of the cross. Take heart, my brothers, in the world you're lost, 'cause the ground is level at the foot of the cross. You can judge your brother by his fortune size, but we're all the same in the good Lord's eyes. You can judge your sister by the deed she's done, but we're judged in heaven by the carpenter's son. If you measure the game, better count the cost, 'cause the ground is level at the foot of the cross. Why gain the world if your soul's been lost, 'cause the ground is level at the foot of the cross. Rich man, poor man, they gon' fade away, but they gon' be together on the judgment day. Poor man's a sitting at the Lord's right hand, just a rocking in the bosom of Abraham. If you measure the game, better count the cost, 'cause the ground is level at the foot of the cross. Why gain the world if your soul's been lost, 'cause the ground is level at the foot of the cross. Blessed are the sinner and the Pharisee, praying in a temple on the bended knee. One begged for mercy to the Lord, he cried, and he met his Savior on the other side. If you measure the game, better count the cost, 'cause the ground is level at the foot of the cross. Why gain the world if your soul's been lost, 'cause the ground is level at the foot of the cross. You must enter heaven as a humble man, cast away a burden taken by the hand. By the grace of Jesus in his holy blood, all sins are washed in the mighty flood. If you measure the game, better count the cost, 'cause the ground is level at the foot of the cross. Why gain the world if your soul's been lost, 'cause the ground is level at the foot of
Some people think you're distant, just some words on a page. But you're nothing more than fables handed down along the way. But I've seen you part the waters where no one else can pull me from the deep. That's who you are to me.
Some people think you just live in cathedrals made of stone, but I know you live inside my heart. I know that it's your home, and I've seen you in a sunset in the eyes of a stranger on the street. It's who you are to me.
You're amazing, faithful, love's open door. When I'm empty, you fill me with hunger for more of your mercy, your goodness. Lord, you're the air that I breathe. That's who you are to me. Who you are to me. Sometimes I have my doubts, I'm sure that everybody does. And I wonder when I stumble, am I still worthy of your love? But I know that I get stronger when I'm talking to you down on my knees. You're everything I need. You're amazing, faithful, love's open door. When I'm empty, you fill me with hunger for more of your mercy, your goodness. Lord, you're the air that I breathe. That's who you are to me. Who you are to me. You're forever holy. You're the Lamb who is worthy. My forgiveness, my healer, the Messiah, my Redeemer. You're amazing, faithful, love's open door. When I'm empty, you fill me with hunger for more of your mercy, your goodness. Lord, you're the air that I breathe. You're the air that I breathe. You are, that's who you are. Who you are, that's who you are. You are greater, higher, over it all. In your presence, Jesus, I stand in awe of your mercy, your goodness. Lord, you're the air that I breathe. You're the air, that's who you are. That's who you are. That's who you are. That's who you are. Who you are to me. Who you are to me.
Hey everybody, I hope you're enjoying the morning show with Natalie. We sure are huge fans. This is Artie Reed. Nikki, the kids, and I would like to invite you to come eat with us tonight at Lee's Steakhouse in Sebastopol. We have everything from steak to salmon, shrimp to chicken, hamburgers to hamburger steak. I'm sure you'll find something that you like. Come enjoy a great meal and great fellowship tonight at Lee's in Sebastopol on Highway 21.
Music, ministry, and more. It's The Morning Show with Natalie Duncan-Emmons.
You're listening to The Morning Show. And now, with your patriotic point of view, here's Larry Gressett.
Drive into Nashville on any of the city's major roadways, and you'll likely see the sign, Music City, home of the Grand Ole Opry. The Grand Ole Opry may be a radio show, but its influence on country music and the culture of Nashville continues to be felt today. Over 90 years, and it's still going as strong today as ever. On November 28, 1925, the Grand Ole Opry was born when a radio announcer by the name of George D. Hay went live on the air for his first broadcast of a program that was at the time called WSM Barn Dance. 2 years after his first broadcast, Hay coined the name Grand Ole Opry, and the rest, as they say, was history. And in the case of the Grand Ole Opry, history is a key word. as even today the live program never forsakes its nearly century-old roots. Today, listeners can tune in to 6:50 a.m. WSM every Friday and Saturday night to hear a dynamic 2¼ hours worth of live performances by both up-and-coming artists and established country music legends, along with gospel and bluegrass artists. The Opry is the show bringing legends, new talent, and unscripted entertainment to the Music City, USA every week. From the first broadcast in the WSM Barn Dance to the new Opry House in 1974, from reaching audiences across the globe on Circle TV to hosting the 55th Annual ACM Awards in 2020, this has always been the platform that connects artists and fans to the music they love. The Grand Ole Opry, truly America. I'm Larry Gressett with your Patriotic Point of View.
The Patriotic Point of View was brought to you by Joe McGee Construction. Joe McGee Construction believes family is one of God's greatest gifts. Family owned and operated for the past 33 years, Joe McGee Construction is the proud employer of some of Mississippi's best tradesmen. Together, we are supporting our communities and working hard to ensure that every commute to work and every ride to school brings us safely home to our loved ones. Valuing faith, family, and the Magnolia State, Joe McGee Construction is building safer roads for a better Mississippi. Joe McGee is my friend, and I thank him for helping us bring you the best mix of Southern gospel music, along with your patriotic point of view here on The Morning Show.
Might be that voice in the choir on Sunday morning, or be a welcome smile for that new face in the crowd, or be that silent prayer for somebody who's in need. God'll move a mountain, and we can be the seed. Oh, save people, serve people, get saved. An act of kindness can shake the blindest standing in their way. Sometimes the best witness is what you do, not what you say. Oh, save people, serve people, get saved. They get saved. The world is full of lonely, broken hearts on every corner, but we can be a light to the lost and show them love. You might know the Bible quote, the hows and whens and wheres, but some people don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. Right. Oh, save people, serve people, get saved. An act of kindness can shake the blindest standing in their way. Sometimes the best witness is what you do, not what you say. Oh, save people, serve people, get saved. They get saved. It's in the way you talk, hallelujah, saved. It's in the way you live, it's in the way you give, hallelujah, saved. It's in the way you walk, it's in the way you talk, hallelujah, saved. It's in the way you live, it's in the way you give, hallelujah, saved. Oh, save people, serve people, get saved. An act of kindness can shake the blindest standing in their way. Sometimes the best witness is what you do, not what you say. Oh, save people, serve people, get saved. They get saved. It's in the way you talk, it's in the way you live, it's in the way you give. They get saved. It's in the way you talk, it's in the way you live, it's in the way you give. They get saved. It's in the way you talk, it's in the way you live, it's in the way you give. They get saved. It's in the way you talk, it's in the way you live, it's in the way you give. They get saved.
Hey everybody, this is Scotty Inman, and you're listening to The Morning Show with Natalie.
I'm looking away With Jesus we'll live. With Jesus we'll live in glory divine. In glory divine. That heavenly home. That heavenly home will surely be mine. Will surely be mine. That heavenly home has mansions of light. No storm clouds will rise, no shadows of night. That city four square, the sun will outshine with all of the same. That home shall be mine. That heavenly home, lies over Dead Sea, lies over Dead Sea, where loved ones I know, are waiting for me, are waiting for me. With Jesus we'll live, with Jesus we'll live in glory divine, in glory divine. That heavenly home will surely be mine, will surely be mine. With Jesus we'll live, with Jesus we'll live in glory divine, in glory divine. That heavenly home will surely be mine, will surely be mine. That heavenly home lies over Dead Sea, lies over Dead Sea, where loved ones I know, are waiting for me, are waiting for me. With Jesus we'll live, with Jesus we'll live in glory divine, in glory divine. That heavenly home will surely be mine, will surely be mine. With Jesus we'll live, with Jesus we'll live in glory divine, in glory divine. That heavenly home will surely be mine, will surely be mine.
Well, I want to talk to you a minute about the Patriots over at My Pillow. Been talking about those children's Bible story pillows, and I've got a very special friend right here with me on the morning show right now. This morning, I want you to tell everybody what your name is.
Bonnie.
Look, this is my friend Bonnie, and Bonnie and I are the very best of friends, aren't we, Bonnie?
Yes, ma'am.
And I know that Bonnie got a children's Bible story pillow. Did you get it for Easter?
Yes.
Okay, I want to know which pillow that you got. You know, there are 5 different kinds. What Bible story does your pillow have on it? Do you remember?
Jonah.
Jonah and the whale? That's my favorite one out of all of them. Well, I want to know, Bonnie, how you sleep on that pillow. Do you sleep good on that pillow?
Really good.
She said she sleeps really good on that pillow. And do you think that that pillow is beautiful?
I think it's a very beautiful pillow.
A very beautiful pillow? I do too. And I'm glad that you got one of these pillows. And we want all of our friends to get one of these pillows. Bonnie, there's a special word that people can use when they go to order these pillows and they get a discount. That means they get it cheaper.
Like you can see it lighter.
Well, that means they don't have to pay as much. And there's a special word that they need. Do you know what that word is that they need to get a discount?
Natalie.
Natalie is the word. Natalie. They can go out to mypillow.com and use the word Natalie. And you can be just like Bonnie. And you can have one of these great pillows. Bonnie, is there anything you want to say this morning before we end this little pillow commercial?
I like the morning show.
Tell everybody, go get them a pillow.
Go get a pillow.
Go get a pillow today. Don't waste any more time. Go get you one of these pillows and be cool like Bonnie. All right.
We live in a world that always questions if there can be a God in heaven. Every day we hear the skeptics wonder how, saying the Bible is outdated, that there's no way to explain it, and the evidence is nowhere to be found. But I see it every time I look around. I know that God is real and His glory is revealed in the heart of everyone who just believes. He still saves and changes lives, and there's no way to deny the difference that He made inside of me. It's more than just emotion that I feel. God is real. I can remember who I was, and now I'm who I am, because there's a living God who came and made me new. So I'll stay with Him forever, and everything we face together is another story that will show the proof of the gospel truth. I know that God is real and His glory is revealed in the heart of everyone who just believes. He still saves and changes lives, and there's no way to deny the difference that He made inside of me. It's more than just emotion that I feel. He holds me when I'm falling. He hears me when I'm calling. He listens and He answers every prayer. It's settled and I'm sure of the reality of His love. I don't need to see His face to know He's there. I know that God is real and His glory is revealed in the heart of everyone who just believes. He still saves and changes lives, and there's no way to deny the difference that He made inside of me. It's more than just emotion that I feel. It's more than just emotion that I feel. God is real.
Well, we played the new one from Wilburn and Wilburn yesterday. It's called Where Could We Go? Here's what Jonathan Wilburn had to say about that new song.
We are either going into a storm, going through a storm, or coming out of a storm. Aren't you thankful that Jesus Christ, our Redeemer, is with us every step of the way? He never promised that every day would be a bed of roses, but He did say He would be with us.
Where else can we lay these heavy burdens? Where else can we find the help we need? than a brother. Who else bids our raging storms be still? Who walks with us through the fiery furnace? Where else can our thirsty souls be filled? Where could we go? 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 But Lord, to Thee. For You alone came down to save us. You alone can set us free. Where could we go? But Lord, to Thee. My tender loving Savior, my sweet Redeemer friend, my cornerstone, my anchor, with me until the end. My tender loving Savior, my sweet Redeemer friend, my cornerstone, my anchor, with me until the end. My tender loving Savior, my sweet Redeemer friend, my cornerstone, my anchor, with me until the end. Where could we go? Where could we go? Where could we go? But Lord, to Thee. You alone came down to save us. You alone can set us free. Where could we go? But Lord, to Thee. Where could we go? Where could we go? Where could we go? But Lord, to Thee. We look high up on the mountain. We've looked far across the sea. Where could we go? But Lord, to Thee. Where could we go? But Lord, to Thee. Yes, where could we go? But Lord, sweet Lord, to Thee. Where could we go? 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 But Lord, to Thee. We look high up on the mountain. We've looked far across the sea. Where could we go? But Lord, to Thee. Where could we go? 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 But Lord, to Thee. We look high up on the mountain. We've looked far across the sea. Where could we go? But Lord, to Thee. Where could we go? But Lord, to Thee. Yes, where could we go? But Lord, where could we go? Sweet Lord, to Thee. It's a Red Sea kind of moment. Can't believe the mess you're in. Or sleeping with the lions. The outlook looks so grim. Then God walks in. God walks in. God walks in. God walks in. You're facing down Goliath. You're feeling mighty weak. Or headed toward the furnace. You're sweating from the heat. walks in. Can't tell you how he'll answer, can't tell you what he'll do, but miracles still happen. You're gonna see the proof when God walks in. God walks in. God walks in. God walks in. He's walking in the fire. He's walking on the sea. He's planning your deliverance, no matter what you need. He's walking through the whirlwind. He's walking through the walls. You're about to testify. He walked you through it all. When God walks in, God walks in, God walks in, God walks in.
Well, have you heard about the Christmas Spectacular? Tickets are on sale now. iTickets.com. They're on sale now. The morning show is bringing a Christmas Spectacular to the Temple Theater in Meridian, Mississippi, featuring none other than our favorites, Southbound, and our good friends, the Browders. The Spectacular will take place on Thursday, December the 1st, and will be the official kickoff to the Christmas season. It will be a magical event. And it's something you just can't miss. We have various tickets available to fit every budget, and even a meet and greet opportunity available for those who would like to come a little early, meet Southbound and the Browders. You can be a part of a reception with the groups, and we'll even take your picture with the guys. Tickets, here's the important part. If you get your tickets during our Christmas in July celebration, then you will receive your tickets at a discounted price. After July the 31st, they will go up to full price. So the month of July is the time to plan for this event. So tickets are on sale now. iTickets.com, iTickets.com. They're on sale now. The Christmas Spectacular, Southbound, the Browders, Temple Theater, Thursday, December the 1st. The official kickoff to the Christmas season.
Hey everybody, this is Southbound, and you're listening to The Morning Show with Natalie.
Oh, it's the morning show with Natalie. The good old morning show with Natalie.
Here's the new one from Cochran and Company. Everybody seems to like this one. Thank God for Sunday mornings. Don't forget, Jay Parrack will be here right after the top of the hour for Throwback Thursday.
Neon lights and stained glass windows, old bar stools and back row pews. I ran to one more than the other, but I couldn't outrun you. Trying to fill up all the empty, trying to numb the pain inside, thinking you'd never forgive me for all those Saturday nights. But thank God for Sunday morning, thank God for 316, and the words it read that say you bled and gave your life for me. Thank God for a choir singing and a voice saying come back home. Saturday night looked like the end of the story. Thank God for Sunday morning. stained glass window feels like freedom on my face. It really is a new beginning. It really is amazing grace. Thank God for Sunday morning. Thank God for 316. And the words you read that say you bled and gave your life for me. Thank God for a choir singing and the voice saying, come back home. Saturday night looked like the end of the story. Oh, Saturday night looked like the end of the story. But thank God for Sunday morning. Thank God for Sunday morning.
We're glad you're listening this morning to The Morning Show with Natalie Duncan-Emmons. Stay tuned. The best is yet to come.
You're listening to The Morning Show. And now it's time for your pastor's perspective, brought to you today by the area director of the East Central Mississippi Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Brother Scott Ingle.
Plato said that wise men speak because they have something to say. Fools speak because they have to say something. The great Yogi Berra once went to a reception, and when asked how things went, he responded, "It was impossible to get a conversation started. Everybody was talking way too much." I like what the book of Proverbs says about words that are spoken. In chapter 25, verse 11 of Proverbs, it says that a word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in pictures of silver. In this week's pastor's perspective, we're going to look at some words that were repeated in John chapter 14, and next Thursday, we'll see why they were said. Y'all know the words I'm talking about. Jesus said, "Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. And whither I go, ye know, and the way you know." Those words are usually heard at a graveside, or at least that's when I've heard them. And those are some very reassuring words. When things are tough and we don't know exactly how things are going to end, sometimes just knowing that Jesus is in control is enough. And whether we're sick or we grow old or it's just our time to go, if you trust Jesus with your heart, if you repent of your sins and crown Him Lord and Savior of your life, in other words, if you're saved, we have the reassurance that there's a place in heaven just big enough for us and everyone that wants to believe. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. So this week, let's reassure ourselves that we have a place prepared just for us after this old world is over. My name is Scott Ingle, and I'm the area director for East Central Mississippi Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and this is this week's Pastor's Perspective.
The Pastor's Perspective was brought to you by Salem Baptist Church in Lake, Mississippi. Salem is my home church, and I'm thrilled that they've partnered with The Morning Show to help us bring you, well, not only the best music in the world, but encouragement and words of life straight from God's Word. Brother Larry Duncan and the entire congregation at Salem, they invite you to come and visit whenever you get the chance. We're located just a few miles off of I-20 coming through mid-Mississippi. So if you live in our area, if you're ever traveling through our area on a Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, well, you stop off the lake exit and visit with us. Thank you to Salem Baptist Church for bringing you your pastor's perspective.
Jesus never opened his mouth. From the trial to the crucifixion, but to the grave it was laid out. After 3 days in the garden tomb, I can hear the angels sing. As the lamb came forth, as the lion, and the lion became the king. You won't find him again at the whipping post, standing there his hands and through his feet. Oh, there'll never be another Calvary, 'cause they don't have to prove one thing. But that day the Lamb became the Lion, and the Lion became the King. Oh, this a preach right here. You know Jesus left his splendor to live on earth for man. But most he was ejected because they came for the eyes of Lamb. Oh, but the day is soon approaching that every eye shall see the Lamb and Lion of Judah has been crowned. Church, the King of Kings. You won't find him again at the whipping post, standing there so meager. He won't be nailed to a rugged cross, through his hands and through his feet. Oh, there'll never be another Calvary, 'cause they don't have to prove one thing. That day the Lamb became the Lion, and the Lion became the King. Oh, you won't find him again at the whipping post, standing there so meek. And he won't be nailed to a rugged cross, through his hands and through his feet. There'll never be another Calvary, 'cause they don't have to prove one thing. That day the Lamb became the Lion, and the Lion became the King. That day the Lamb became the Lion, and the Lion became the King. Oh, yeah. He is the King of Kings. Oh, yes, he is.
That's the Crab Family. Here's the brand new one from the Derek Loudermilk Band, and Jay Parrack will be next, right here on The Morning Show. Don't miss Jay Parrack.
She had a mountain, the doctor called it cancer. A life interrupted with clinics and needles, looking for some answers. And that mountain could have cast a shadow of fear, but she stood on this truth and said through her tears, there's nothing bigger than Jesus, and nothing ever is. There's a sweet assurance for a soul that's truly his. Though the night seems so dark and the mountain seems so large, sometimes your world has to fall to pieces. Before you really know, there's nothing bigger than Jesus. We all face our giants. We all walk through the valley. Moments that seem hopeless, and we're helpless to do anything about it. But if the one who left death and hell in the grave is walking beside us, then he's gonna make a way. There's nothing bigger than Jesus.
is Natalie Duncan-Emmons. You are listening to The Morning Show. It's Thursday morning. You know what we do every Thursday morning. Well, we like to throw it back to a classic hit. We usually go to the 80s and 90s. We're kind of spreading it out a little bit more this morning with a few songs I want to talk about. But it's Lefevre week here on The Morning Show. We're completely focused on the Lefevre Quartet. We don't have much more time with the Lefevres as a full-time gospel ministry, so we're just milking the Lefevres this week. I've been wanting to have Jay Parrack on the show for a while now on our Throwback Thursday, and I thought this would be the perfect week to have Jay Parrack because it's Lefevre week. Jay, are you with us?
I am here, and let me just say that I was getting close to being offended by not being able to be on this show. I know that the word offended is a popular word, and I'm here to tell you I was close.
Oh, everybody's offended nowadays. Everybody's offended. Well, we fixed it, Jay. You're on.
You did so well. I feel so much better. My life is complete now.
I've just been waiting for the perfect time. That's all.
This is it.
Because you're special. The Lefevres are special. Everything about the group is special. So the timing has to be just right. And this is the right time right now.
Well, great, and I am honored. No kidding. I am honored to be a part of this morning show.
I appreciate that, Jay. That means a lot. You have been so kind to me since the first day that we were on, from the very beginning. You have been a true supporter of mine and of the show. I could never really adequately thank you. Probably nobody else knows how much you've helped me. There are times that I can just call and go, Jay, I need help. What do I do with this? And you've truly been a friend. And
you are desperate when you call me for help. I promise you. No, but listen, the Lefevre Quartet introduced me to you and your family personally, and there are no sweeter people than you all. Your church is wonderful. If you ever get a chance to visit their church, folks, I'm telling you right now, those some good, godly people, and those people know how to have church up in there, and they got good music too, and they got a pretty good music director.
Oh, I'll just hang it. They just tolerate me, really. I'm the weak link of the whole thing.
Whatever. You know what? Salem booked us right smack dab in the middle of COVID.
They sure did.
Y'all called and said, we got y'all booked. Y'all come on. We ain't scared.
On, we're gonna do it.
And you know what? We crawled up in there not knowing what we were going to get. And we ended up having church that night. And
it was good.
It was super good, and it was the spirit y'all brought in there. And I'm going to tell you what, y'all had us over at your house, and your mama fed us like pigs. Yeah. That didn't hurt none either.
We did.
Amen.
and we survived it. We're all here to tell about it today. So.
Yes, ma'am. We all survived.
We did. Well, look, I want to throw it back this morning. Let's go back a minute to 1993. Longtime members of Gold City. Now, I know this is Lefevre week, but this is Throwback Thursday, so we're throwing it back to your days at Gold City. And I just want to set it up like this. It's 1993. Longtime members of the Gold City Quartet, Brian Free and Ivan Parker, together they won 20 Singing News Fan Awards between the two of them during their time with Gold City. That's a lot. That's pretty impressive, you know.
Very much so.
They were a group that Gold City had, you know, during that decade, late 80s, early 90s. They were a group that fans loved and adored, you know.
Very much so, and rightfully so.
Right? Look, they were fantastic. I was a diehard Gold City fan during that time. And those Gold City fans at that time, they were so diehard that they almost couldn't like another group. They almost felt guilty for liking another group because they were Gold City fans. You know, you couldn't like the Cathedrals if you like Gold City. I'm just being honest.
You're right. You're right.
Had to pick, and we were Gold City people, but you're in 1993, and it's unraveling. You know, that is dissolving. There's a new day, and there's where Jay Parrack comes in. And here's how I think that Southern gospel music history writes you into this particular decade, Jay. Maybe I'm wrong. This is just how I see it. You took us from where we were and what we were comfortable with, what we were familiar with. You took us from there to something brand new. And you didn't come in and try to be somebody else. You didn't come in and try to fill somebody else's shoes. You made it Jay Parrack. You were entertaining. You were fun. You were likable. You were lovable, actually. You were just lovable on that stage. And you were an incredible singer. And you took us from something that we knew and loved to something new that we grew to love, and you did that. And it is extremely difficult to come into something that people already love it. They already love those people, and you've got to fill in the shoes, and you've got to make them love something new. You've got to bring something new to the table. And I just don't think anybody could have done that any better than you did that. And I'd love to hear, you were the transition. You know, you just took us from one place to the next. I want to be quiet. I want Jay Parrack to tell us what it was like to step in to the most dominant quartet of that decade and fill that spot.
You know what? It's been a long time since I reminisced about those days. I remember I had just gotten married in August of 1993, so I was very much a newlywed, and I was on staff at a church up in Kentucky, and years before that, a couple of years before that, I was in my college roommate. He's still my best friend today. We were coming over. We'd taken a road trip, and we were coming over the river, Mississippi, Arkansas, the Mississippi River Bridge there, and Gold City was on the radio. And I looked at him, and I said, Greg, that's exactly what I want to do, and that's exactly who I want to do it with. And he remembers that word for word to this day. And so we fast forward to 19 in August, and then in October, I'm at work, and my wife gets a phone call. We didn't have cell phones in those days. My wife gets a phone call at our house, and it's from Tim Riley. And just like you, Gold City was my favorite group, too. I was a diehard Gold City fan. I knew all of their stuff. I knew every song they had ever recorded. I had all the stuff they had. So Carrie, my wife, was a big Gold City fan as well. Absolutely, Tim Riley calls one afternoon in October and said, Miss Parrack, this is Tim Riley. Of course, he said it about 4 octaves lower than I'm talking now. And her mouth hit the floor, and she said, can I help you? And he said, yeah, Brian Free is leaving, and was wondering if Jay, your husband, would like to come and try out.
Wow.
And she said, absolutely, I'm sure he would. Is there a number he can call you back? And sure enough, my wife came and got me at work and said, Tim Riley just called, and Brian's leaving, and he wants you to try out. And I looked at her, and I scolded her, and I said, of all the cruel things a newlywed wife could do to a husband, that's one of the cruelest things I've ever heard, because you know that's what I want. And she said, I'm not kidding. Would you get home and call the man? So I called him. I went and tried out 2 days later, and I got the job. And there's so many things that happened through that weekend, but I'll spare you all those boring details. But I got the job, and he said, now, you will start January 1st of 1994 on New Year's Day. He said, that will also be Brian and Ivan's last night.
Wow.
And already I had 3 months to be nervous.
Yeah.
And yet to be excited because my dream was actually coming true. And you're correct. They had won all these awards, and they had established themselves as the top group in the industry at that time.
Yeah.
And in my mind, it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. They were doing things that other groups wished they could do. They were broadening so many horizons. They were stretching the concept of gospel music, and they were doing it well. They sounded great.
Oh, they were classy. Yeah. Classy.
Very much so. And they had this certain identity. So the night came, and the first half, it was a big singing in Birmingham. They always had it every year. Sonny Simmons put that on at the Boutwell Auditorium, and there were about 5,000 people there.
I remember them having that every year.
Yeah, every year. That was a big thing. And so the first half, all the groups sang their first half, and Gold City walked out with their original lineup. And when they finished, they were completely done. And they walked off. We took an intermission, and when we came back, we used to do the King's Gold back in those days. And so when we came out, when they introduced King's Gold, Brian and Ivan did not walk out. But me and Mark Trammell were starting our first night there. That was our first appearance. That was the new Gold City.
Wow.
And at that time, Steve Lacy was singing baritone, and he moved up to lead.
Yeah.
So it was me and Steve Lacy and Mark Trammell and Tim Riley, Gary Jones, Mark Fain, and Doug Riley.
Yeah.
So during King's Gold, it was planned that Jim Hamill would call the new Gold City out front and let them sing a song together. So we did that. And I just remember shaking so bad because that was the first night that I had ever sung, quote unquote, professionally, and there's 5,000 people there. And it's like you said, they're all looking at us and looking us over pretty hard.
Well, you started pretty high, Jay. I mean, when you start out on the top, where are you going to go from there? That's
right. And,
big.
you know, that was my introduction into gospel music right there.
Wow.
And I could not, I'll never forget that night. I can still see what it looked like. I still know several people were there. Jordan Lefevre, who I work with and work for today, was 3 years old, and he was there. He kids me about that. He goes, you know, I was there at your first singing. That's really? He goes, yeah, I was 3. Daddy told me all about it. But he don't remember nothing. So that was the first night for me. And then the next weekend, of course, I came back home, and then we left out on the next weekend.
Well, Jay, let's stop right there. Let's play one of these songs by Gold City. You were a part of this song. It was I know it went number 1 at one point. So let's stop and take a break. Play a Gold City song in time, on time, every time. We'll be right back with more from Jay Parrack.
Gather round, children, got a story to tell you about a man who lived long ago. Now he was a leper and he needed a healing, but he didn't know where to go. So the prophet told Naaman to go to chilly Jordan, and there old Naaman would find that after 7 times into the muddy water, God delivers right on time. God was in time for the children of Israel to cross the mighty Red Sea. He was on time when the walls of Jericho fell at Joshua's feet. Every time I feel discouraged, don't have to wonder where he'll be. God's been in time, on time, every time for me. Now there stands little David with a sling in his hand right before the giant so tall. And it was unlikely then to all of those men, surely Goliath would fall. And when the 3 Hebrew boys wouldn't bow down to Baal, the king said they'd cross the line. They were thrown into the flame, but then the 4th man came and God delivered right on time. God was in time for the children of Israel to cross the mighty Red Sea. He was on time when the walls of Jericho fell at Joshua's feet. Every time I feel discouraged, don't have to wonder where he'll be. God's been in time, on time, every time for me, for me, for me. Yes, my God was in time for the children of Israel to cross the mighty Red Sea. He was on time when the walls of Jericho fell at Joshua's feet. Every time I feel discouraged, don't have to wonder where he'll be. God's been in time, on time, every time. Every time God's been right on time. In time, on time, every time for me, for me, for me.
Going back to the mid-90s to catch that one. Jay, pick up right where you left off, my friend.
I had officially began my career with Gold City, and I was there for the next 10 and a half years and went through a lot of changes. And Natalie, you're right. I could not beat Brian Free.
No.
And I had been there about 3 or 4 months. And Tim Riley set all the vocalists down in the back lounge of the bus one night after a concert. And I'll just be transparent. I'm going to share something that I don't know that I've ever shared with the public. But Tim Riley set us down and he says, guys, we sound terrible. And he looked at me, and I thought, he's going to blame it all on me. And he could have. But he looked at me and he goes, Jay, you need vocal coaching. I suggest you get it and get it quick. And he looked at me and he said, Jay, get out of Brian Free's shadow. Brian Free is no longer here, and you're not him. So you be Jay. That's an order.
Yeah. Wow.
And I was 22 years old. And I went to bed that night after that meeting, and I bawled my eyes out. I was scared I was going to lose my dream job. But by the next week, I had a vocal coach, and he absolutely turned things around for me.
Mm-hmm.
Taught me a lot of fundamentals about breathing, about pronunciation, the whole 9 yards. And he gave me a lot of confidence. He encouraged me. He did not berate me. He didn't focus on what I was doing wrong. He took what I was doing wrong and told me how to fix it.
He developed it.
That's correct. And then he said, if you will apply these fundamentals every day, you'll be fine. And sure enough, I listened to him. Believe it or not, a 22-year-old male, I opened my ears and didn't shut him out. I actually took it to heart, and I applied those things because the rest of it was stamina. It takes practice.
Mm-hmm.
And I began to sing correctly, and that took over, and it really helped me. And you know what? That gave me a way to enjoy what I was doing. And to this day, I still use those fundamentals, and I enjoy what I do because, hey, sure, I'm not perfect. I'm going to miss a ton of stuff every single night, but I know how to fix it.
Yeah.
And so it helps give you confidence. You know, I know what I'm doing,
right,
and I know how to fix it. And so I enjoy my job.
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing like it. We had to have an identity. Gold City went through a identity crisis.
Right.
And because, as you have said, they were very dominant in the gospel music industry at that time. They all they not only sounded good, but you nailed it when you said they were classy. They were very classy. Yeah. So that we could emulate. We had to learn how to be classy. Yeah. So having people like Tim Riley and Doug Riley there and Mark Trammell, they taught us boys how to be classy.
Mm-hmm.
They stayed on us about being classy. But the identity on stage had to be something of our own. It could not be a copy of what we've been seeing all these years.
Yeah.
And that's where 2 years after I joined, we hired Jonathan Wilburn. And when Jonathan Wilburn got there, everything clicked, and it clicked very loud.
Yeah. Well, now, Jay, Steve, you talked about Steve Lacy.
Yes.
Steve was kind of carried over. He was a part of the I mean, he wasn't with Gold City like for years and years and years like Mike and Brian and Ivan, but he did take Mike's place, right?
Correct.
So he had kind of carried over a little bit.
A little bit. He was only there a couple of years.
Right.
I think Mike left in 91 or 92.
Mm-hmm. And he was a great singer.
Super singer and a great
really
guy.
Good singer. A good guy. But I do think it did help when you got when you brought in a singer who was not carried over from that, and all of you got a fresh start. I think that's when you became your own group.
Correct. When Steve left about 6 months after I started. And anytime you go through a vocal line change, it hurts you. I don't care who it is. Anytime there is a change in the front four, it is a setback.
Mm-hmm.
And so Steve left about 6 months after I came and Mark came. So we hired a fellow named David Hill. And David stayed with us about 2 years. And we were beginning to assume an identity with David. David was a super singer and a great guy. We're still friends to this day. David's my buddy. We had our first #1 song with I'm Not Giving Up. And David Hill's the one who sang that originally.
I did not know that. See, we love that. Yeah.
That David Hill sang lead on that particular project. And that particular project was huge for us. Every song on that project it was just amazing. We just got, you hit that one in a lifetime album, and every song on there was just so good for the time.
Right.
Standing in the Gap. So we had our first number one under our belt, and we made some headway when David joined us. But when David left after 2 years, it was a gut wrencher because I thought, man, here we go again.
Mm-hmm.
But Mark and I are still there, and Tim is still there. But yet again, the word you used was perfect. It's a setback.
Mm-hmm.
So, but going forward, and we had several people audition, and we were booked up in North Carolina one night, and it was us and the Wilburns. It was at a school. And Jonathan Wilburn was singing with his mom and daddy, Jackie and Elaine, and they walked out there, and he did all the setting up, and he did sound check.
Mm-hmm.
And he sound checked the song that we had just recorded, and they had just recorded. It was in the same key. It was the same arrangement. And he was up there doing sound check. And Tim, we were all standing. He was using a lot of our stuff. And Tim just said, let's step up there around him and start singing.
Yeah.
And we stepped up there, and we started singing.
And
Jonathan's dream was to sing in an all-male quartet, and he was getting to do it in sound check. And, man, when we heard that and he heard that, we were, oh, my goodness. And so the negotiations began, and the next thing I know, we hired Jonathan Wilburn, and we never looked back.
Yeah. How long was he there, Jay? Several years, right?
Jonathan was there, I think Jonathan was there 12 years. I was there 2 years before he got there. I think Jonathan was there about 2 or 3 years after I left. I was there 10 total. And Jonathan stayed a little while after I left. But when Jonathan came with us, that told us we are our own identity. We have officially separated from the 80s version of Gold City. We're out of that box.
Two totally different groups now.
Two totally, because here's the thing. If you remember, in Gold City, they could sing the phone book in those days, and it was great. I am not knocking that lineup of Gold City. But they stood still in the same spot, and they sang, and they ended everything together.
It's true.
And it was great, and it was a success, and people loved it. So if we had tried to do that, it would not have worked because we're automatically thrown into a comparison with that group, and you'll never measure up. This particular lineup, we didn't stand in the same place. Once the song started, we didn't know where we were going to end up on stage. Our endings were staggered. We would do multiple encores if the crowd wanted more. And that was the difference. Yeah. That was the difference.
Well, it was smart. It had to be different. We'd already seen the other Gold City. We've seen that. We've done that, and it had to be something new. It had to be something different, and it was smart to do that, Jay.
I think so too. Credit to Tim Riley. That was wisdom on his part. He was not scared to go for it again, but do it in a totally different fashion. But somebody told me one time, and they worked for Gold City, but here's what he said. He said, the reason Gold City is different from anybody else at that time was, he said, you watch when the concert is over. When people walk out the door, they're singing a Gold City song.
Yeah.
He said, it's the song, their songs are catchy.
They are.
And we began to see this as people left our concerts, and there might be 4 or 5 groups, and I'm not knocking any of the other groups, but there might be multiple groups on the concert. But when the concert was over, people are walking out the door singing, I'm not giving up, I'm not turning right. And that was it. That was the catchy song.
Yeah.
And then, or maybe later, they're walking out the door singing, he said, you must, there's a catchy song that they're stuck with.
Well, Jay, I'll take that one step further. Not only did they leave out the building singing it, but it's 2022. I mean, it's 2 or 3 decades later now. We're still playing those songs. I mean, just last week I played, I'm Not Giving Up on the show. We played God's Building a Church a couple of weeks.
Yes.
We still play these songs. I mean, we do on the morning show. I mean, people still play them, and this is the truth. People will text and call me all the time and say, would you play one of those old Gold City songs? And they ask for them all the time. And you can say, well, which one? And they'll say, You just play one of those good old Gold City songs. And they'll want something like what you just said. He said, in time, on time, every time, God's in church. I cast my bread upon the water. Those songs just will not die. They just live in, because there is a catchiness. There's something about those songs that just stick with you. So they didn't just walk out the door singing them. They've been singing them the rest of their lives.
Well, and to God be the glory for that, Natalie.
Yeah, we're still singing. Can we play one?
You can play anything more.
Yeah, you mentioned I'm Not Giving Up. That's not. I didn't really have that one on my mind, but now that you've said that one, now that's what's in my mind. And you said that was the first number one with you with the group. Is that right?
That is correct.
That was the first number one with that Gold City. That's
correct.
Let's do it. Let's take a break. I'm going to come back. If you've got time to come back after this song, I want to talk about one other song specifically. But let's take a break. Let's play it. We're doing our Throwback Thursday today. We've got Jay Parrack with us. We're talking about his days with Gold City. Here's the first number one with Jay with Gold City. Here it is. I'm Not Giving Up.
Well, I'm not giving up. No, I'm not turning round. By the grace of God, I'll wear a shining crown. Someday, well, I'll keep holding on to that nail-scarred hand. I'm not giving up. No, I'll keep going on. I've been walking through the valley, through this veil of tears. At times I've even questioned, even if my Lord was near. Many times that old tempter, he says, why not turn around? You can't get any farther because you're just losing ground. Oh, but I'm not giving up. Oh, I'm not turning round. By the grace of God, I'll wear a shining crown. Someday, well, I'll keep holding on to that nail-scarred hand. I'm not giving up. No, I'll keep going on. Would you mind to tell me there's been something bothering me? Why is it that old devil, he just won't let God's children be? See, he has purposed and determined to get right in the way and turn us from the way of life and lead our souls astray. No, but I'm not giving up. No, I'm not turning round. By the grace of God, I'll wear a shining crown. Someday, well, I'll keep holding on to that nail-scarred hand. I'm not giving up. No, I'll keep going on. Well, I'm not giving up. No, I'm not turning round. By the grace of God, I'll wear a shining crown. Someday, well, I'll keep holding on.
I'm not giving up. Still sing that one.
Ma'am, Squire Parsons wrote a doozy when he wrote that. We heard that. We heard the first chorus, and we said, "Oh goodness, yeah, we're singing that one."
Absolutely. I'm so glad you did. And when we sing it, everybody, they're out in the audience. Everybody's singing right along with us. Everybody knows it. Everybody loves it.
It's so simple.
We know that's the best kind. And that's the thing about it. It's a simple, catchy, something you can remember, something that sticks with you. Simple is always the best way to go.
Always.
Well, Jay, let me say this before we go, because I feel like I've taken a lot of your time this morning. I'm so
You are fine. No.
being here. But we want to play this song, God's Building a Church. But I just want to say, while I've got you here, that you have played a tremendous role. And just the layout, the history of gospel music over the last few decades, you have just been a prominent player and a prominent character in all of this. And I just want to thank you, because you've given a lot, and you've been a major player here. And I think you've influenced the whole thing, maybe more than anybody even realizes.
Oh,
you
goodness,
really
you are way too kind. But I'm gonna tell you this, Natalie. Every bit, it's like the psalmist said, if there be any good in me, let all the praise go back to the Heavenly Father, because it's His gift. If I can sing a little bit, great. But if somebody is ministered by it or encouraged by it or they enjoy it in any fashion, it's all because of the Heavenly Father. I didn't do it. He gets all the glory. He gets all the praise.
Your humility makes you even more likable.
Those are just facts, Natalie. Those are facts. And
let me just thank you. We appreciate you, my friend, and you've made a big difference. And you've been doing it a long time, and we appreciate everything you have done.
You know what? The fans have been super, and I love those people. They put food on my table for a lot of years, and my father's table for a lot of years. And I will be forever grateful to those people for loving me the whole time. They've been very gracious to me.
Well, I hope we get to feed you one more time. I hope y'all come through Lake Mississippi at least one more time down the road, and we'll get out something and feed you one more time if you come this way.
I would love to eat there.
That'll be fun. Look, Jay Parrack, you've got a friend here on the morning show. Please don't forget that.
I will never forget it, and if you ever need anything else, you just call me.
Well, you know I will. You'll see my number and be, there she is again. There she is. It'll be fun. I love you, my friend. We're gonna go
love
out
you too.
God's Building a Church. You ready?
Hey, listen. Anytime you need something, you call me. So are you. You got it. I'm looking forward to it.
For much too long, the church has been an underdog to the feet of men. God's building a church on the rise. It's been trampled on in the heat of the fight. This church is God's eternal bride. It's almost time for the church to fly. God's building a church. God's building a church.
It's gonna march like a mighty army band.
God's building a church. It'll be water to a dry and barren land. God's building a church.
It's gonna rise from a valley of dead, dry bones.
Sanctified, glorified, filled with the Holy Ghost power and might, purified with fire divine. God's building a church. On Calvary's tree it started there. He handed it down to the hands of men. God's building a church on the rise. Old Satan's about to run in fright as the saints of God in glorious might race across the enemy line with holy banners waving high. God's building a church.
It's gonna march like a mighty army band.
God's building a church.
dead right along.
Sanctified, glorified, filled with the Holy Ghost power and might, purified with fire divine, God building a church. It'll be sanctified, glorified, filled with the Holy Ghost power and might, purified with fire divine, God building a church.
You're listening to The Morning Show. And now it's time for a few moments of laughter with our friend and yours, Mickey Bell.
This is new for me. I have never done anything like this. I've been doing churches, trying to get people saved. So we've been in a lot of Baptist churches, but a lot. Do I have any Pentecostals in the crowd? See, you can always tell Pentecostals because the hand goes up and it's an automatic woo. See, the Baptists, they can't raise their hand unless there's a motion in a second. So the Church of God's got it. Listen, this is funny because the very first show I ever did was a Church of God church. Yeah, well, God bless you. She just got saved last Sunday. A Church of God church. A Church of God. They brought me in. This Church of God pastor said, now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to sing 2 songs, and we're going to turn it over to you, and you're going to make us laugh. Well, if you know about the Pentecostals, you know that 2 songs means that 45 minutes later, I'm standing in my seat on the second row. About that time, I hear a scream from the very back. Now, where I'm from, that means somebody just got shot. But it was Mama. Mama just got happy. Do y'all know what that's like? Then I started noticing that the sound was getting very close to me. And as she rounded the corner, I noticed 3 things about Mama that night. Number 1, Mama was running with her eyes shut. Number 2, I noticed that Mama had done danced right out of her shoes. And number 3, Mama done shouted her teeth out of her head. Y'all, she came by me, and about the time she got to the front, she hit the floor. The pastor gets up, he goes to the pulpit, and he says, we have a comedian here tonight that's going to come up here and he's going to make us laugh. Anybody going to do anything about Mama? And why is it not bothering anybody but me that nobody knows where her teeth are? Why is it?
The comedy segment was brought to you by John G. Weatherford Incorporated. John G. Weatherford Incorporated? Well, they're proud to be connected to the morning show. They're known to most as Weatherford Oil. They're a third-generation owned and operated family business that values God, family, employees, and customers. For over 40 years, they've been providing diesel, gasoline, motor oil, hydraulic fluid, grease, and logging supplies to some of Mississippi's best loggers, farmers, chicken growers, land managers, municipalities, individuals, and convenience stores. Whether you need large or small quantities, well, they'd love the opportunity to talk to you about supplying all of your fuel and oil needs. With 2 locations, they proudly serve Scott, Lauderdale, Newton, Smith, Neshoba, Jasper, Clark, Kemper, Rankin, and Leake counties. If you appreciate Weatherford Oil helping to bring you the morning show, well, we would appreciate it if you'd call John at Meridian, 601-693-0981, 601-693-0981, or Jason in Forest, 601-469-3931. That's 601-469-3931. And let them take care of all of your fuel and oil needs. We appreciate them. We appreciate you.
I've been delivered, mended my ways. Ain't no more going down the road called Lost Highway. I'll keep believing there's a right way to go on through my life without losing my faith. I've been delivered, I've been delivered. I've been to the river, I've been baptized, my sins forgiven, so satisfied. I met the Savior, He showed the way. Now I am traveling on the Yahweh highway. I've been delivered, yeah. And climb this mountain, it looks so high. There's rocks and ledges down in my mind, but I don't lose my pace. I see the other side, and when I reach the top, I raise my hands up and say, I've been delivered. I've been delivered, yeah. I've been to the river, I've been baptized, my sins forgiven, so satisfied, yeah. I met the Savior, He showed the way. Now I am traveling on the Yahweh highway. I've been delivered. Take me down to the river. Wanna go where the water, where my brother and my sister and my father and my mother. I've been to the river, I've been baptized, my sins forgiven, so satisfied. I met the Savior, He showed the way. Now I am traveling on the Yahweh highway. I've been delivered, yeah. I've been delivered.
I'm thankful for the journey got me here. The roads at once didn't make sense, now seem crystal clear. I know that faith is greater than doubt and love greater than fear. I'm thankful for the journey got me here. There were dark and narrow places where I crawled and where I climbed. I had to travel roads that were confusing at the time. There were nights my heart was breaking, and I thought I'd been forsaken. But I'm thankful for the journey got me here. The roads at once didn't make sense, now seem crystal clear. I know that faith is greater than doubt and love greater than fear. I'm thankful for the journey got me here. There are many in this moment who are walking through a fire, but let me offer hope because of wisdom I've acquired. I can trust in where the road leads, looking back at what's behind me. I'm thankful for the journey got me here. The roads at once didn't make sense, now seem crystal clear. I know that faith is greater than doubt and love greater than fear. I'm thankful for the journey got me here. I'm thankful the journey got me here. The roads that once didn't make sense now seem crystal clear. I know that faith is greater than doubt and love greater than fear. I'm thankful for the journey got me here. I'm thankful for the journey got me here. The roads that once didn't make sense now seem crystal clear. I know that faith is greater than doubt and love greater than fear. I'm thankful for the journey got me here. I'm thankful for the journey got me here.
Look, I'm here at Lee's Steakhouse right now. I'm here. And I've run across a good old friend of mine here. He's from right here in Sebastopol. This is my friend Jason Green. Say hey, Jason.
Hey, how y'all?
Look, I want us to talk a little bit about Lee's Steakhouse. Do you come over here pretty often?
I come to the window a lot because I'm not really dressed up, enough to come in here.
But you get to take out.
I do. I hear, I eat a pretty good bit.
Well, we've never talked about that on the show, that Lee's has a big takeout service. If you don't want to come in, don't want to be around, mingle around, just order it to go. They'll get it fixed up, won't they?
They will. They're quick, service is great, and the food's always good.
It's always good. What are you going to eat tonight, Jason?
I am getting a big 32-ounce ribeye. Well done.
Oh, I eat my steak well done.
And sweet potato.
Well, I eat a white potato, but that's good. You eat your sweet potato. I'll eat my white potato.
Yeah, we'll do that. I'm excited. I've been waiting a little bit, but we've been talking and hacking it up. But
it'll be worth the while.
It will be.
Well, look, we're going to put this on the morning show, and you heard it right here from Jason Green, Lee's Steakhouse. That's just the place to be, don't you think?
I agree.
That's it.
I agree. Come see Artie and what's the wife's name? I missed it. Come down to Lee's and see Artie.
Artie's a good guy. Come on down here to Lee's Steakhouse. It's the place to be.
And it's got the menu on Facebook.
Got the menu on Facebook. Well, they're making it mighty easy. Come on out to Lee's tonight.
a world around me that's in need. Searching, looking for the answers when all they need is Jesus. Jesus.
Maybe I'm the one to tell them. Maybe I can make a difference. So today I pray
for a little more faith, faith that keeps believing the mountain moves. A little more hope, hope that's always knowing you'll get us through. A little more love, love that keeps on holding when life gets tough. Lord, you know we could all use a little more of faith, hope, and love. Neighbors living here beside me who need the light. Strangers walking in the darkness, it don't seem right.
Maybe I can turn the light on. Maybe I can bless someone. So today I pray
A little more faith, faith that keeps believing the mountain moves. A little more hope, hope that's always knowing you'll get us through. A little more love, love that keeps on holding when life gets tough. Lord, you know we could all use a little more of faith, hope, and a little more faith, faith that keeps believing the mountain moves. A little more hope, hope that's always knowing you'll get us through. A little more love, love that keeps on holding when life gets tough. Lord, you know we could all use a little more. Lord, you know we could all use a little more of faith, hope, and love. Faith, hope, and
There was a man sent down from God, a forerunner of his son. He came out of the wilderness, crying, "One will come." So holy his shoe latchets, I'm unworthy to unlace. He'll seek and save and teach the world of God's amazing grace. Brother Johnson gave
That wraps it up for us on this Thursday morning. I hope it's a great day. Lord willing, we'll be back here to do it this afternoon. The morning show take 2. We'll do our best to be back here in the morning. Have a good day.
What a man, what a preacher, Brother John. When Mary told your mother of the child she had conceived, God's presence filled her house so great, Elizabeth believed. This message overwhelmed her, you leaped inside her womb, and peace that only God can give dispelled all fear and gloom. Brother Johnson Gabriel, to announce your birth, Brother Jesus said, no greater born of woman on this earth. Brother John told it like it was, no matter what the cause. What a man, what a preacher. John. Brother John. Sent Gabriel to announce your birth. Brother John. Jesus said no greater born of woman on this earth. Brother John. He told it like it was, no matter what the cost. What a man, what a preacher. What a man, what a preacher. What a man, what a preacher, Brother John.